Right, just over £20, great way to start the morning. Had it on a fish meal pop-up, and we're going to be looking at pop-ups, how we can make the most of them, baiting situations, over what bottom to use them, and hopefully we can have a few more and keep them coming. So in regards to pop-ups and the lake beds, you can fish them over. The simple answer really is any of them, providing the weed isn't top to bottom absolutely horrendous. Silt, sand, gravel, clay, weed, yeah, you can fish them over any of them. Your rig will help you out in certain situations. So for example, in thick weed, a trod rig with the pop-up, that's going to be more helpful for you. Whereas the Ronnie or spinner like I'm using today, over a bit of low line weed, yes, no problem, and any of the others, that would be no problem either. Looking at pop-ups, obviously you can get the food bait or match the hatch type pop-ups, and you can get the bright visual ones. Depending on the time of year, I pick either a food bait or a bright one, generally based on the season that we're in. So during the spring and the winter, I like to use a bright pop-up. The reason for that really is as the fish wake up in spring, a bright one in front of them, they're likely to just snatch it and just take it, and that works in your favour. And also in the winter, when their eyesight's diminished a bit, you can, by you having that bright visual bait, they're more likely to see it, more likely to just drop down and suck it in. And looking at bright ones, I think personally the four most popular colours are whites and pinks and yellows and oranges. My favourites probably in the spring would be the whites and probably yellows, actually saying that, and in the winter I love an orange and a white. They seem to have done me well in the past. In the summer and autumn I tend to lean more towards like the food bait match the hatch type pop-ups. These are the ones I'm using today. These are just a fish meal pop-up. They've had a little bit of salmon oil on them, and as you can see, maybe get this one out, see there's a little bit of krill powder stuck there. That just helps as a carrier for the oil and just disperses off the bait, hopefully helping the fish home in on them. These are some other fish meal pop-ups I've got to match my other baits that I use sometimes. These have got some Himalayan salt, some GLM, the matching glug and the salmon oil, so these are really quite boosted ones. Yeah, they're sort of specials. They're a nice new pot there, so save them. Generally in the winter I tend to lean towards a fruitier bait. Just sort of out of the 3 rods I might put 2 on a fruitier one and then 1 maybe on a more of a fishy flavour, but still a bright one. I just think, you know, keep your options open. Don't just go down one route in the spring and the winter, whereas in the summer I am more one-minded and I will use the food baits and the match the hatch type pop-ups. That's not to say that a bright one won't work in the summer, because plenty of fish will get caught on bright ones throughout the summer, but that's just my personal preference and what served me the best. Go. She's in.
grab one. Right, just had this 24-pound common on the fish meal pop-ups yet again, doing the do. We'll have to have a look, talk through the rig I'm using, how I'm setting it up and how I keep getting these results. The spots that I'm fishing, they are firm, but there is a little bit of debris, so perfect to fish pop-ups. Now, when I fish my pop-ups, I like to fish them helicopter style where I can. This here is how I like to do it. So I always use a 3-ounce lead. That's just my preferred size. Got a little buffer sleeve there, a lead-free leader, and I've recently taken to using a quick change ring swivel for the helicopter part, purely because it's just easy to change the rig if necessary. And there we've got a top bead on some silicone, which if the rig was to get tangled in anything, or the fish takes it into a snag, that top bead can just pop off like so, run off the end of the leader with the rig, and that's nice and safe. Here is the rig I've been using slightly recently. I'm converted to the Ronnies, or to the spinner rig as it's known. This is how I have been using it. So I like to use a beaks point hook in a size 4 generally. I've got a hook stop, a 360 bait screw just for that extra movement, and I just like to screw my pop-ups on nice and simple, nice and quick. So just show you. So you just grab a pop-up of your choice. In this case, on this session, it has been fish meal pop-ups matching the hatch, and that just screws on there like so, and that's on there nice and firm. Just down to a little kicker there to slide over the quick change swivel that the hook's attached to. I like to do a small loop. That's a loop probably of around 5mm once the putty's been moulded round, and that just takes the weight of the pop-up, so that can sit like so. That can just pop up above any of the leaf litter, any debris on the bottom. Then just down to a semi-stiff hook link, another little bob of putty just to help that settle, and an anti-tangle sleeve. I always like to use an anti-tangle sleeve. I just think it just helps kick that away and lay that down. But also it is essential using a quick change, which I'll show you. So that your rig just clips on there. Slide the anti-tangle sleeve up like so. Gets that just over there. That's nice and secure now. And fished helicopter style, that can fully rotate around and not tangle. That's exactly what I've been using, and I had that 20-pounder pretty much as soon 10 minutes after we arrived, after I got the rods out, and then mid-morning had the 24. Pop-ups have really done us well.
The other thing is you can make your own cork ball pop-ups and buy them, but most companies will do a hook bait kit, which means that you can make your own, add extras into it, so a bit more GLM say, or a bit of extra liver powder, betaine. You can put a little bit more in if you want. And this is my finished pop-up, and it isn't dead circular, it is slightly misshaped, and I've done that on purpose. You know, when you buy them off the shelf in the tackle shop or off your bait company, they are generally perfectly round, and I thought, well, I might as well make something slightly different. Here you can see the inside, so I've got a 12mm cork ball, and then the paste is moulded around the cork ball, and it's a finished size around 15mm, and that will stay up for ages. Yeah, they're really good. I do prefer to iron these on though, just personal preference. Looking at like additives really to help boost your pop-ups, most companies will do a liquid to go with their pop-up. You can buy an amino hook bait attractor, that's quite good, and the classic things, so like on my fish meal stuff I'll put GLM, liver powder, salt, sometimes a bit of betaine, and then more on the more visual and fruit, they're generally fruitier ones, more of the matching liquid and some betaine.